Week 6 of the 2025 Indycar fixed oval season brings us to Chicagoland. This 1.5 mile worn out speedway has 5 grooves of racing and an apron that'll spin you out. Use it to make passes at your own peril, and welcome to our track guide for this week, where I'll show you some tips and tricks on how to handle the Windy City. When qualifying, like standard at most fast tracks, you're going to warm up and get up to speed on both the get up to speed and the green flag lap. The white flag lap will be your fast lap. I have found that bars 5 in the front and 3 in the rear work well. However, the car might need to rotate a little more. Be brave with the weight jacker and see how much you can handle without spinning out. You could also add a little rear bar, maybe run something like 5-4 or 5-5 if the feeling suits you. At these fast tracks, it's important to not move the wheel. Obviously, you need to turn into the corner and aim for the white line on your fast lap, but the more you turn the wheel, the more speed you will scrub. So turn in early, let the car sit, and run the high line coming to the green. This is your fast lap. Cut the apron, and then aim for the white line into turn 1. Hold the car as low as you feel comfortable, and let the car walk back out to the wall before you dive into turn 3. Stay as close to the white line as you can, turn the wheel as little as possible, and then get ready to cut the apron on the front stretch. Don't dip your tires into the grass, you'll get a 1X and you might spin out. Something like a 25-2 will be fast this week. You might see people in the low 25-1s, like a 25-1-9-5. I'm not sure what the weather will be like this week. The last time we were at Chicagoland, it was a pack race, like this clip you can see here. It's important to back up your corners when you're in a lot of traffic so the car doesn't push up the racetrack in both scenarios. The AI races that I've put together this week with the current weather make it very, very hard for the car to turn. It feels very pushy. Previously, the car handled okay so long as you backed the corners up, but with the weather that I had in a tested session, you had to back up a lot and put a ton of work into the tools to make the car rotate. On Monday, we'll see what the weather is actually like and how the car feels in dirty air with real people. But for now, just be careful and anticipate that we might have more than one scenario on our hands. If you're in clean air, I think it'll be flat out. And if you're in dirty air, you're going to have to lift and modulate your tools. Last time I used 6.4 plus 6. This time, I used tools that were way more aggressive. You can see the tools and the racing conditions here. I ran a 3 front bar and a 6 rear bar with positive weight jacker, and it was much harder to stay tucked up behind other cars. You're going to need to lift before each corner and not turn the wheel too much. Be careful of dirty air and don't push out on exit. The wall will get you and you'll have no speed down the straightaway. You'll see a lot of cars be slow on exit, especially onto the front stretch, and you'll be tempted to pass them on the apron. When they are side by side like this in front of you, it'll be really tempting to go down there, but I caution against it. Be careful of the apron. If you're trying to use it to make a pass, the car above you does not have to give you racing room back onto the racing surface. In this example, you can see that the yellow car ran into me while I was holding my line on the front stretch. I gave him enough room to come back up, but that was it. As we watch this again, you'll see he comes up the racetrack, wiggles into me as the apron upsets him, and we collide into turn 1, and both of our days are ruined. If you're trying to make a pass on the apron, don't, unless you're going to clear the car to your outside. They are not obligated to let you back up onto the racing surface. The weather that's been populated from this week's race session has been much hotter. The packs don't stick together and they get strung out like this at the end of a run. You can see here my tools are much more aggressive. I'm running a 3 bar in the front and a 6 bar in the rear, along with some positive weight jacker. Getting down to pit road, back it up, and aim for that yellow line that goes into the pit road entry. It's only a 50-mile-an-hour pit road speed limit, so you've got to get down pretty aggressively. If there's traffic behind you, get to the apron sooner so you don't get rear-ended. Here you can see my tire wear was very extreme. My right front tire was at 26% at the end of this full fuel run, and my right rear was at 65%. You can be more aggressive with your tools if you want, maybe a 2 front bar and more positive weight jacker, but I felt like that just made the car slide. Work with your right foot to make sure you don't spin out. Reset your bars to a stiff front bar and a weak rear bar to exit pit road so you don't spin, and put in the negative weight checker. Those are my tips this week for Chicago. Let me know if you have any questions below.